Well, hello there and welcome in. It is just so great to have you pulling up a chair and joining us today. Seriously, get comfortable because we have a truly incredible journey ahead of us.
Absolutely. A huge, warm welcome to you. We are so glad you're at the table with us for this one.
Yeah, we really are. So for today's deep dive, I want you to imagine like walking down this unpaved, dusty road. The heat is just radiating off the corrugated metal roofs, right? Running water is basically a luxury. And then out of nowhere, you cross paths with a man in a pristine, bright pink Armani suit.
Complete with, perfectly polished crocodile leather shoes and a silk pocket square.
Exactly. Or you turn a corner and see a guy walking through heavy traffic in a retro-futuristic spacesuit, but it's made entirely out of discarded cell phone parts and tangled wires.
Which is such a striking image. And that's exactly the world we're unpacking today. We're looking at the Democratic Republic of the Congo, specifically the megacity of Kinshasa, and also reaching across the river to Brazzaville.
Right, and we've got this fascinating stack of sources for our mission today. We're pulling from a really detailed ethnographic study on popular dance, this amazing documentary on street art called System K, plus some great insights into their fashion subcultures, football, and even culinary heritage.
And all these sources, they point to this one central, undeniably powerful theme. For the people here, performance isn't just entertainment. It's not just a Saturday night out.
No, it's a fundamental mechanism for survival. It's about claiming dignity and identity against some really incredible odds.
It really is. And to understand why, we have to start with the physical reality of the city itself.
Yeah.
Kinshasa is massive. We're talking about a population of around 14 million people.
14 million.
It's the largest francophone city in the world. It is pulsing with life, but it's also defined by this intense paradox. Historically, the city was known as Kinshasa.
Kinshasa the Beautiful.
Right. But over time, with severe economic contraction and infrastructural decline, the locals started using this really dark pun. They call it Kinshasa.
Which means Kinshasa the waste bin.
Exactly. Because in a lot of these sprawling neighborhoods, paved roads and steady electricity or even just municipal sanitation, those are the exceptions.
Yeah.
They're not the rule.
And out of that incredibly tough environment, this specific philosophy was born. The locals call it System D, or Article 15.
Yeah, Article 15 is fascinating. During the era of President Mobutu, the Zairian constitution had 14 official articles. But everyone knew the real law of the land was an unwritten 15th article.
Which basically meant fend for yourself.
Precisely. The D in System D stands for débrouillardise, which translates to resourcefulness. It is the absolute institutionalization of the hustle.
Because, if the formal state apparatus isn't there, you can't just wait for the city to fix a pothole or hand you a job.
Right, you invent the conditions of your own existence.
Which brings us right back to that astronaut wandering through the traffic, Michel.
Oh, Congo astronaut, yes. He's one of the artists featured in the System K documentary.
Okay, let's unpack this, because to me, he looks like this modern-day cyborg superhero. He is literally gathering electronic trash from the dirt roads.
Old keyboards, smashed screens, copper wires.
Yeah, and he builds this literal suit of armor. But the real kicker is the material itself, right? It's full of coltan.
Right, which is overwhelmingly mined in the Congo. It's exported to build all of our smartphones and laptops, and then the toxic e-waste gets shipped right back to Africa.
So he's taking the literal discarded byproducts of the global economy, stuff from his own soil, and wrapping himself in it. What is his actual motivation there?
Well, what's fascinating here is how Akiba describes it. He says the suit is a mechanism to achieve zero gravity.
Zero gravity.
Yeah. By encasing himself in the very debris that suffocates his environment, he paradoxically floats above it. It disconnects him from the heavy despair of the street, and he transforms into a space traveler.
It's like a psychological Faraday cage. He's insulating himself from the friction of the city by wearing the source of the friction.
And that insulation makes a lot of sense when you look at the complex political history these artists are reacting to.
Now, I do want to pause here and be very clear with you, the listener. We are not here to take any political sides today. Our goal is strictly to neutrally report on the realities detailed in our sources.
Absolutely. The sources outline a deeply complex history. 75 years of colonialism, followed by the Mobutu administration, which political scientists often call a kleptocracy driven by the politics of the belly.
Right, personal wealth accumulation at the top.
Exactly. Straight through to the severe economic hurdles of recent presidencies. We're just conveying the socio-political realities that the artists themselves say they are responding to.
And the art is a direct reflection of that timeline. When systems fail to give you a voice, you use your body and literally the trash on the street to force a conversation.
But that transformation of space isn't limited to avant-garde street art. The popular music scene is another huge piece of this puzzle.
Oh, the staged concerts. If the street is where you survive, the stage is this liminal space where you can dream.
Yes, Kinshasa's popular music scene has deep roots in Congolese rumba. It functions like this massive, sweating, sociological mirror.
The structure of these concerts is wild. You have two main engines driving the crowd. First, there's the atalaku.
The animator.
Yeah, the guy shouting over the music. Yeah. But he's not just a hype man.
Far from it. The atalaku bridges the sacred and the hypermodern. He weaves ancient ancestral proverbs into the exact same breath as modern street slang.
And then he's shouting out the names of wealthy patrons in the audience to get tips.
Right. It's taking the deep cultural memory of the village and applying it to the urban hustle.
And while he's driving the rhythm, the female concert dancers, the danseuses, are physically interpreting the city. The ethnographic study calls it mimesis in motion.
Taking literal street hazards and turning them into choreography.
The Kisenola dance is the best example of this. I loved this part of the source. The researcher actually witnessed a purse snatching at a market.
And people were recounting the robbery to each other, right?
Yeah, and they were using this really specific, rapid, hand-waving gesture above their heads to indicate the thief. And then, fast forward a bit, that exact hand signal becomes the centerpiece of this massive stage dance.
They isolate a daily trauma, strip away its danger, and convert it into a collective rhythm.
It's just brilliant psychological processing. You can't stop the mugger, but you can mock him collectively through dance. But wait, I have a question about this.
Sure, go ahead.
The ethnography notes that the band leaders and choreographers are almost always male, and they often make the women do dances mimicking serving husbands or rubbing their bellies to warn against abortion. If the men are dictating the moves, where is the women's agency?
That is the core tension. And the researcher asked that exact same question. The overarching structure is patriarchal, but there's what anthropologist Johannes Fabian calls a moment of freedom.
Okay, when does that happen?
During the fast-paced instrumental breaks called the sabine. During the sabine, the danseuses break out for their solos, and the rules just completely flip.
Oh, so the dancer just takes over entirely.
Entirely. She stops being a visual ornament. She uses these highly aggressive, dynamic movements to command the venue. She actually dictates the rhythm to the drummer through her body language.
Wow. So she snaps an arm or thrusts a hip, and the drummer has to drop the beat.
Exactly. And the whole goal is to command the male gaze and secure tips. She weaponizes that gaze to make the men approach the stage and literally spray her with money.
So it's an economic subversion, a marginalized woman stepping into that liminal space and forcing the men to finance her dominance.
It's a masterclass in navigating a system that wasn't built for you.
It really is. But, performance in the Congo isn't just restricted to artists or dancers on a stage. What you wear to just walk down the street is a profound performance all its own.
All Lesape, the society of ambiance makers and elegant people.
The sapeurs and sapousses, these are the folks stepping out into the dust in three-piece European designer suits. We're talking Kenzo, Armani, Weston shoes.
But these aren't investment bankers or wealthy elites. The participants are 8-year-old school kids.
Or a 58-year-old bricklayer. People working grueling jobs for low wages. How does a bricklayer afford a wardrobe that belongs on a runway?
Well, the economics of Lesape are pure communal system D. One pair of Weston shoes might cost several times a person's monthly salary, so they form borrowing collectives.
They pool their money.
Exactly. They skip meals, they forego basic comforts, just to buy a single designer piece that they then share and rotate among the group.
So this is not just some casual weekend hobby. The sheer sacrifice required proves that the aesthetic is like a hard-won victory.
It's a profound act of defiance. And it has historical roots, too. Mobutu had a strict mandate that men had to wear a state-approved, Mao-styled tunic called the abacoste.
Which translates to down with the suit.
Right, so wearing a European designer suit today is rejecting that limitation. But it's also creating cognitive dissonance. By doing their elegant walk through a neighborhood lacking sanitation, a sapeur is visually declaring, my environment does not define my worth.
I have to share this anecdote from the research because it captures the mindset perfectly. A sapeur walks into a TV studio for an interview and his pockets are just jingling wildly.
Because they're stuffed with keys.
Yes. The interviewer asks him why he has so many keys, and he just smiles and says, because keys open doors.
Even though he doesn't actually own a bunch of mansions or cars?
Exactly. The keys are a theatrical prop. He is performing the character of an unbound, successful man.
And by committing to it so completely, he experiences the psychological reality of that success. That mindset is actually a foundational philosophy called la quinoiserie.
La quinoiserie, how would you describe that?
It's basically the invisible architecture of the city. It's a radical joie de vivre. To be an ambianceur, an atmosphere maker, you don't even need money or an Armani suit. You just need wit, the ability to project joy regardless of your circumstances.
The sources have this amazing example of a delayed bus. Imagine a massive crowd waiting for a bus that's hours late. Anywhere else, that's a recipe for misery or even a riot.
But in Kinshasa, an ambianceur in the crowd will step up and loudly declare some totally absurd, controversial opinion.
And suddenly the whole bus stop erupts into this theatrical debate. Everyone joins in. The delay turns into an impromptu stage.
They metabolize the frustration through performance, and you see that exact same participatory energy in their football culture.
Yeah, the sources describe Congolese football as this mosaic and progressive tradition. The boundary between the players and the crowd completely dissolves.
The spectators are never just spectators. If a team scores, entire sections of the crowd execute synchronized dances that mirror the hits from the popular concert bands.
The stadium just becomes an extension of the stage.
And the players participate right back, maybe doing the Kisanola dance to celebrate a goal. There is no hard line between performer and observer.
We even see it in their local festivals and culinary heritage. The food traditions aren't just about caloric intake, it's a vital extension of la quinoiserie.
Cooking becomes a performance of abundance in a place of scarcity. Gathering ingredients, preparing a traditional dish, and sharing it with neighbors when resources are tight. It's a refusal to be diminished by poverty.
You cook, you invite the neighborhood, you dance, you dress up, you survive together.
When formal structures fail to provide a safety net, they weave their own out of rhythm, fabric, and shared joy.
I really want you to think about your own life for a second. When you are feeling overwhelmed or the systems around you feel broken, how do you inject a little la quinoiserie into your day?
How do you create your own ambiance?
Right. Maybe it's putting on your favorite playlist and turning a miserable commute into a private concert. Or wearing that one outfit that makes you feel invincible right before a stressful meeting. We all practice our own tiny versions of System D.
And that's the universal takeaway here. Surviving goes far beyond food and shelter. To truly live, you have to preserve the human spirit.
Let's pull all these threads together, whether it's building a spacesuit out of e-waste, or pooling money for months to buy Weston shoes, or turning a robbery into a dance of dominance. These folks prove that performance isn't a luxury.
It's the ultimate tool for subverting and transcending reality. They are actively turning Kin La Poubelle back into Kin La Belle.
One performance at a time.
Which leaves us with a critical question to consider. We've explored how these artists and dancers put on costumes to claim power. It makes you wonder, what is your personal spacesuit?
Oh, that's a great question.
When you put on your work clothes or adopt a certain persona for a meeting, are you just participating in your own version of Article 15? Are you making people dream, or are you just trying to survive?
Are you making people dream, or are you just surviving? I love that. Thank you so much for taking this deep dive with us today. Keep creating your own ambiance, wear your spacesuit proudly, and we will catch you next time.